Zombies Chronicles, one of Call of Duty's greatest representations of passion and love in any Zombies title in its history since its creation back in 2008. Enjoyed and loved by millions, Zombies Chronicles was a extremely popular DLC released for the infamous Black Ops 3 a year after its initial life cycle, breathing life into older maps released for games such as Black Ops 1 and 2 into a newer and more improved engine. The addition of 8 previous maps into a game already blooming to insane heights brought intense joy into both the casual and hardcore fans alike, providing for an experience that can be enjoyed by almost anyone and one that will never be forgotten in the Call of Duty Zombies community. The popularity of this particular DLC is not an understatement, as Zombies Chronicles actually managed to be one of the highest selling PlayStation DLCs in the PlayStation Store for a multitude of years, as well as gaining its total estimated 1.7 million in gross revenue over time. This DLC was nothing short of a love letter to the Zombies fans at the time, providing a sense of caring and passion that debatably hasn't been seen in any Zombies game since Black Ops 4. However, due to the extreme popularity of this DLC and the feeling that most felt at the time of its release, many have come forth begging for a Zombies Chronicles 2 ever since the release of Black Ops 4 in 2018. This longing for a second iteration of one of Call of Duty Zombies' greatest is completely understandable, and to the majority of the community it would clear the slump for zombies many have been feeling in the present day. However, I am here to argue why Zombies Chronicles 2 is not what this mode needs to be revived back to the days of old, and also to explain the common ideology and beliefs behind those who wish for this to be a reality. To completely understand the backstory of this entire mindset, we need to rewind back to the days of Black Ops 3 to truly understand why this DLC was so engaging to the community. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is considered one of the greatest games the Zombies scene has to offer by the majority of the community surrounding the game mode. The intricacy of the maps and the feel of each individual room has generally never been able to be replicated in the games to follow, and is truly a work of art that the Treyarch team at the time managed to develop. All of the maps from Shadows of Evil to Gorod Krovi were absolute masterpieces that would increase the popularity of Zombies to the COD community as a whole, as well as boosting the popularity of the Zombies community on YouTube at the time. With the finalization of Black Ops 3 in the map Revelations, however, released on September 6, 2016, many found themselves wanting more from this game, as not only did they feel the ending was rushed or unfinished in many ways, but they realized that the game they had put so many hours into would finally be coming to a close. However, with the help of Infinite Warfare Zombies, released around the same time, as well as the YouTube community, the Call of Duty Zombies fanbase remained strong and hungry for what was next. This short amount of time between the release of Revelations and the development of Zombies Chronicles is the exact reason why this DLC was as successful as it was. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 to many was such a perfect game, and after the announcement that more zombies was coming to the mode, who could resist buying the DLC to experience some of their favorites in the game's history or experiencing them for the first time? The original Zombies Chronicles was released after all of the innovation and progressiveness that had been brought to the table by Black Ops 3, which was why it was the absolute perfect time to strike with nostalgia. You see, the new innovations and gameplay features that were brought up, for example, in Shadows of Evil, were not actually enjoyed by the majority of Zombies players initially, as many didn't see it traditional of the zombies they once knew. However, over time, many have come to love and appreciate what the maps truly have to offer, as Shadows of Evil went from one of the most hated maps at launch to one of the most loved in about a year after the release of Black Ops 3. If you're still not understanding what I'm putting down as the sole reason for this DLC's success, Zombies Chronicles was a extreme success because the game had already been fleshed out beforehand with maps such as Mr. Eisendrach and Gorod Krovi, allowing for a easy nostalgia drop to earn Treyarch a massive profit. Progress has to come before the past, and without the balance of these two, one will heavily outweigh the other, which will in turn lead to the failure of any game. Now that you understand what made Zombies Chronicles so popular past the surface level knowledge, we need to take a look at the games that came after it to see if the criteria would be appropriate. As mentioned earlier, many were practically begging for Zombies Chronicles 2 to be released in the game directly after Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, even at its initial launch of its game. However, would Zombies Chronicles 2 have fit on Black Ops 4 as much as Zombies Chronicles fit on Black Ops 3? Well, it's a complicated answer. However, I believe in the very end the answer is no. For those not familiar with Black Ops 4 Zombies, there was essentially a split between two stories being played out in separate maps in the game. A group by the name of the Chaos Crew and a group that we had known and loved since the inception of the mode, the Aether Crew. The Chaos map saw insane innovation with a completely new storyline and all new maps, and generally had very complex layouts and mechanics that many might not comprehend after a multitude of playthroughs. However, what was interesting is that the Aether maps seen in this game saw innovation, but all of the maps for this designated crew had been previously made in prior titles. For instance, this means that maps that were not featured in Zombies Chronicles, such as Call of the Dead 5 and Mob of the Dead, were all remastered and completely remade into different maps with their own identities. While this sounds cool and honestly is in the present day, many at the time hated every decision Treyarch made with Black Ops 4, even hating on the remaster of maps that they had been so longingly begging for since the release of the first Zombies Chronicles. I believe that the lack of a Zombies Chronicles 2 and Black Ops 4 actually helped the game in a weird way, as people over time began to actually see the beauty of what Black Ops 4 truly had to offer in the years after its release. Seeing a Zombies Chronicles 2 in a game with the maps pretty much remastered already would have made absolutely no sense, and is a reason why the lack of this DLC was not a fault of the game's failure. Looking over to Cold War Zombies, there was once again a plethora of people asking for Zombies Chronicles 2 to be released for this game as well, and I once again believe this is not the right answer. Cold War Zombies was unique, as the game actually got free updates containing all of the DLC Zombies maps that would be released throughout the game's lifecycle, which was definitely a step forward on paper through the eyes of many. However, with this free DLC system, Treyarch could essentially get away with creating lackluster maps with no real feeling or atmosphere to them, as well as overcharging for operator bundles and things of that nature. Cold War Zombies lacked the innovation that was seen with Black Ops 3 and 4, meaning that a Zombies Chronicles 2 would not even be enough to save something as dead as this game was during its life cycle. Releasing a DLC such as Zombies Chronicles 2 would not only be a terrible financial decision on Treyarch's end, but it would also deplete from the original experiences, as the time and effort that was put into Zombies Chronicles would most likely never be seen in Cold War Zombies. The core of why Zombies Chronicles worked is because innovation came before nostalgia, and without any new feeling of purpose or advancement, Zombies Chronicles 2 could never revive anything. So now that brings us to the present day with the upcoming highly anticipated release of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and its take on the Zombies mode. Taking a look at the examples from earlier, it is clear that in order for a revival of the Zombies community and mode as a whole, the game is going to have to see a mix of both passion for its work as well as execution to create a new experience. There's this common thought in the Zombies community I see nowadays that says Zombies Chronicles 2 would revive the Zombies community, and the idea of such, while great, is just simply not the answer. If there is anything we need right now for Black Ops 6, it is most definitely a innovative experience that has seen care and love put into its character development, lore, and overall map feeling that was once so heavily believed in the early days of Call of Duty Zombies. What made Black Ops 3 so popular in the first place was all of its new mechanics and systems systems that made it unique, such as the introduction of weapon kits and gobblegums. These new features allowed the player to explore and learn new things, forcing them to go through multiple games to figure out the best strategies for certain maps or how to effectively use certain gobblegums, which in turn allowed for their love for the game to blossom. Zombies Chronicles was simply just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top to fully complete the ideal Zombies experience that had been crafted by developers throughout the DLC cycle. Black Ops 6 has the opportunity to do something absolutely astonishing with the Zombies mode and community, and with all of the alleged things coming to the game, Black Ops 6 looks like it could be one that we will never forget. After all of these years, waiting as a Zombies fan can be extremely difficult, and the idea of returning to old Zombies games feels ever more tempting. However, I encourage you as a player to keep an open mind going into Black Ops 6. After all, keeping an open mind is what led to the greatness of Black Ops 3, and who would not want that? Zombies Chronicles 2 will come if the game performs well, with new innovations that spark the creativity of the Zombies players. However, it is not necessary for the game's success. I am not saying Zombies Chronicles 2 is a bad thing whatsoever. Seeing something like that would be a dream come true actually, but believing that this one sole DLC could revive the Zombies mode is borderline delusional. With the problems we face every day as Zombies fans and the disappointing titles that have come recently, the solution may seem to go back to the past, but just like that bad ex-girlfriend, Zombies Chronicles 2 is not the solution. I appreciate you guys for sticking around, and with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.